Why are you here?
Why are you here? Slide cancel. Lamau. Gotcha.
Well, I was just reading this book called American Comic Book Chronicles, the 90s,
Yeah.
from 1990 to 1999.
Yo, chat, shut up because I gotta get off. I gotta get off. All right.
What are you doing?
I'm just getting off this Call of Duty game. I can't play this and talk to you at the same time.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. I mean, guilty pleasures, man. Guilty pleasures.
Yeah, did you know that in the already plummeting industry-wide sales decreased by an additional 25% between 1996 and 1997? That'd be comic book sales, with some of the most popular titles now selling only a fraction of what they had earlier in the decade. In June 1997, for instance, only 25 titles sold over 70,000 copies. By the way, that would be amazing today.
Yeah.
And only 5 of them sold over 120,000 copies. As recently as September 1993, a comic book that sold 120,000 copies would have barely earned a spot on a list of the top 100 best-selling books.
Interesting.
At DC, Wonder Woman, Azrael, and The Horrible End of the Teen Titans hovered around 40,000 copies a month. Some of the long-running Vertigo titles, like Hellblazer, House of Secrets, and Sandman Mystery Theater, lingered even lower, around 20,000 copies. At Image,
Yeah.
the once hot Gen 13, remember that book?
Yeah.
Saw its sales drop, decreasing by 50,000 copies a year. And it was only one of 5 Image titles selling over 70,000 copies a year.
Dang.
So we were mentioning last time a decline and a crash of the industry.
Yeah.
Well, this wonderful book we're reading, Flex Mentallo, came out in 1996.
Yes.
And I believe it can be it is the single-handed reason the comic book market collapsed. How do you feel about that analysis?
I don't think.
Now, I saw Keith Dallas, the author of this, I believe. Jason Sachs and Keith Dallas right here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they said exactly that in this book somewhere. I don't have a page number yet on that.
That this book, but Flex could, with his Flex, could hold the whole industry up. Dan.
Well, it is possible. Though, in 1997, the industry had to change, so they handed DC Comics, after this great series here, handed Justice League of America to Grant Morrison and Howard Porter.
Okay. So his big test was Flex Mentallo, and then they gave him...
Yeah, well, I mean, look at this hair on Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it.
I mean, how could that not destroy the industry?
I mean, it's a question.
I mean, it was a thing. Yeah, I mean, the comics industry had cashed in on their late 80s, early 90s success and ruined the entire industry by overprinting really terrible books.
I don't think they overprinted Flex Mentallo. Mentallo, I mean, heck, they just...
I have a feeling it was one of the... Yeah, you remember that character that's so popular now?
Oh, that guy?
I'm not naming names,
yeah,
but
I
may have
him.
helped ruin the comic industry.
I mean, I thought he saved it.
That was later. That was like the movies.
That was later.
Yeah.
When he came back later.
It was much later.
Chimichangas.
No, I mean, all joking aside, I'll sit back up in my chair. The industry never recovered, right?
Yeah, that's true. It kind of tanked, and then it took a while to come back. Took a while.
And it came back, but it never... I mean, now,
never.
if you get 40,000 books on a run, you're very, very, very happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's...
I mean, and, you know, some of it's great for collectors, because, like, this book, this is a Liam Sharp cover of Absolute Batman. I couldn't even get the first printing because I didn't order it in time.
Yeah.
And I ended up with, like, a third or fourth printing. So that, that's pretty cool. I had to go back and buy that one in the aftermarket. I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on it because you'll just make fun of me.
I won't make fun of you. Tell me how much.
No.
He knows me too well, folks. But I mean, as a creator myself, like, I know sometimes it's like if you can get a run printed, it's an amazing thing. And, you know, so.
Well, here's the thing too. If you all do a Kickstarter and do a small run of 1,000 books, you're writing intimately to an audience. You know, we have been making a lot of fun of Grant Morrison and they're writing in this book. I was even poking fun at Frank Whiteley's art
Mm-hmm.
a little bit last issue, just because there was one page in there that was
Beautiful.
amazing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why isn't the rest of this like this?
But
But
it is. It's
the
just
big
not your
thing here
thing.
I want to say, yeah, I've also been digging into a lot of Seth Godin lately.
Uh-huh.
You're like, oh no,
Oh no. He's goading.
but yeah, he's Godin, yeah. But Seth Godin was talking about like as a creator, right?
Yeah.
As a creative, create to you,
Yeah.
and the audience will come,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh,
don't sell out, don't
yeah.
create.
Make your own
I
thing.
almost think Grant takes us too far, but at the same time, great, right? Like you all were able to do this with Starlight,
Mm-hmm.
where Starlight's not a book for everyone.
No. It's not a book for everybody. And the people that do find it, when they do find it, it's amazing because you don't realize how much it is something for a very specific. There are people that need this book, and you don't think about. I mean, you think about that as a writer, as a creator, but you don't realize how much you're going to impact somebody until they come up to you at a convention or find you eating a hamburger and they tell you how much they really enjoy it. So it's just like, oh wow. But I'm pretty sure Grant Morrison, when he was writing this and putting a lot of himself into this, it was the same kind of thing. He was just putting a lot of stuff into it, it and hoping to draw the people that needed this story to find it.
Yeah,
It wasn't for
and
you.
doesn't compromise. Yeah, that's one of the great things about the Vertigo imprint too. It was basically an indie imprint in DC, but they're allowing people to do short stories,
Yeah.
try things out, and see how it works.
Yeah, it's like,
And
I found like some of the early Edward Breaker stuff through Vertigo, and I was just like, this guy's fantastic. And it's like, it's just not like some of his original, not like his original stuff. It's like, oh man, this is like really good stuff. It's like super cool.
you have to give artists room to create. Not everything can be a hit, and in my mind, this is not a hit.
Well, and there's probably somebody out there that's listening to this podcast that's gonna take our suggestion from the last episode to go check it out and make up your own mind, and they're gonna be like, this is exactly what I needed. This is the feast I was waiting for, of weird and odd and everything in between. And it wasn't for Dan.
I kind of like this cover.
Yeah, it's a really.
Yeah, I kind of like the cover.
It looks like a hostage note.
Yeah.
Or
well, I like it because it's got the multiple
Yeah.
historical sort of
all the different
logos on there.
logos, and all the cool like snapshot pieces from different clips of Flex and stuff to make up the singular image. It's a really unique piece. It's really cool art, and having it all put together like that, you get a really cool image.
And also, I would love to see Todd Klein on his blog analyze the logos here.
And how they all what the different kerning means, and the the letters.
Yes, like legitimately.
Yeah, no.
I'm excited about
It
that.
is interesting to hear people talk about that, because as a person that doesn't know too much about it, when you have somebody knowledgeable in lettering and other things like that, and logos, and how it all works and fits together, and how the design is, it's like, wow, there's this artistic style has so much depth to it, and you just glaze over it when you're looking at a book sometimes, but there's so much there. So cool.
Well, here we go. We're already into Flex Mentallo, number 4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come in here with a better attitude on this book, so I'll do my best. We flip the page, and
Snake is back, Dan. You want to escape to LA with him.
can you explain
Yeah?
to me Kurt Russell's appeal as an action star?
Oh, man. You don't understand why he's so appealing? Look at that mug. He's so handsome. He's got that
No.
He's got that voice. not that voice,
No.
but he's got the voice, the
No.
machismo.
Does he?
He's got that thing about him that he just brings to the character, and you're just like, oh, he's just so cool, and you're like, oh man, I want to watch a movie with him in it. It doesn't matter if he's Snake Plissken or if he's this dad that just like found some lady that just fell off a boat and decided to make her into his wife for a weekend to take care of his kids while he goes out and drinks and stuff, which sounds really bad. That's a really bad plot to a movie, but hey, they went a little overboard with it. And then, or if he's going to just like become Santa Claus with the same lady.
Huh?
And then they don't get married in real life, but they just have kids.
Oh,
What?
were you talking?
Yeah, I was. Oh, come on, Dan. You asked a question, I gave you an answer, and you didn't like it, just like this book. Let me tell you, Dan, Kurt Russell is awesome.
Oh, okay.
And
He's great.
well, I mean,
Well,
hey, you gotta watch him in everything else that he's done. When he was younger, when he's older, when he's really young too. Plays a great computer. I know. You're like, what?
well, it looks like we turned the page
He's a Disney kid, right?
and we found the Legion of Legion.
A Legion of Legion. Oh my
We
god.
found Nano Man and Mini Miss.
Oh my god.
We found the fake question who I've with is it the Eiffel Oracle Sage?
The
What was this guy's name again?
I don't know, man.
You forgot his name? He has the power of third sight.
I'm third eye blind, Dan.
Oh God. Wow.
All I gotta say is look at his photograph with your arms wide open.
That's a different group and that's worse.
Because I mashed up two songs.
Yeah, that you oh God. What are you doing? Like he's telling us that the parallel realities are being consumed and the polyverse is being destroyed, and you just named two bands that might have been eliminated in the polyverse.
They did. They got eliminated. Man.
Oh, that's why they combined into one.
They combined into one because you got to look at the photograph with your arms wide open.
While Thunder crashes.
Oh. An old man dies while the baby is get down to the river. I don't know.
To pray.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we just put all of those bands in one movie?
It's a,
Because if they had made guest appearances,
that would be such a
oh my
great.
God.
Like, imagine if everybody was just playing, like they just do a different thing and they just walk in and say a different line, but it's like and then I got nothing.
What if they had replaced John Goodman as the Bible salesman?
Oh wow. Wait,
With
what if he?
Creed.
What if John Goodman comes in to sell Bibles, but he actually is doing another character from one of his older movies?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
The Legion of Legions are here,
Yes.
and the Legion of Legions is not here to move people out of a flood zone in Tennessee,
Okay.
but they are here
Ah,
to talk to their teensy weensy little friends.
yes, they are.
And it looks like we have the famous Legion lineup of the fake question, Flamehead, Armor Guy, Monkey Guy,
Yeah.
Mental Head,
Uh-huh.
Zero Guy,
Yeah.
Diamond Head,
Uh-huh.
Firehead 2,
Firehead too.
Brainhead,
Yes.
and Trope Guy.
Rope guy. Yeah, yeah. Got them all.
All right. So they're here.
Yeah. So are my dogs.
And Mini Miss and Nano Man. Of course, a homage to the famous couple in Marvel Comics where the one person became a famous character in movies and then the other one sort of did too. And but in the comics, it was a bad relationship
Oh, it's a bad relationship.
that we should definitely want to relive here.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you didn't like that story either?
Not in the comics.
Well, then the Lord Limbo, the teleporter, someone's coming through. Who's Lord Limbo? Lord Limbo?
I want to say, ironically, though, in the movies, they fight a guy who is just as bad in real life as the comics portrayed
The
the
characters
characters
in the
in the
comic?
comics. Wow, is that just a weird bend of reality imitating?
A weird Bendis of reality.
Ah, I see what you did there. You Bendis like Beckman.
Yeah, I mean, now it's like you had all the buildup in that movie, and then there was really no payoff.
I honestly, I mean, hey, he got to find his daughter
It
again.
was a Bendis story.
He got to find his
It must have been.
daughter. His daughter was there all along.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like on College Humor, on
Oh,
Game Changers. I've been here all the time.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Like, oh, well, anyway.
Anyway.
Um, we have people crashing through like it's a crisis.
Oh no.
I watched the moon turn red and the crumble in the sky. I saw the seas boiling. By the way, we're on Flex Mentallo issue 4, if I didn't say
If
that
he
4 times
didn't tell
already.
you already, it's issue 4, everybody. Number 4. As in
And
the.
Dad's phantoms died a second death.
Oh,
No more sky, oceans. They're very upset here. Oh my gosh. Yellow suit guy says, look at it, the absolute, rising like the dawn. Nothingness, eating the universe, eating everything. It's finally happening. We can't do anything to stop it.
oh
I
man.
could run at light speed, but there's nowhere left to go. Oh, who died in the crisis? The Flash, remember?
Yeah, the Flash, rest in peace.
And this other guy, trope guy, tells that guy, we
Uh,
can't stop it. G Wiz. Is his name really G dash
I
Wiz?
think so.
What if his name was like Cheese Whiz?
Oh, delicious. You could put it on
And
a
his
Philly
whole goal,
cheesesteak.
and his whole goal was to stand at the top of the satellite and cheese whiz out off the edge.
Off the edge? Like, wait, how, he would turn into Cheese Whiz and go off the edge, or he would just
No,
like,
like
I'm
he would
Cheese
pee
Whiz.
cheese whiz off the edge.
Oh, Dan, you took it to another level. That is from book
Cheese
number
whiz.
Dan. That's from book number 3, probably page number 22, where they're
Oh,
the
that was
golden
back in the cheese whiz factory.
when they had the golden thing that I was like I asked you about, and you're like, that's no, just skip that panel.
Yeah, I just skipped that. Yep, I went away.
It's dipped in gold, people.
Well, we're learning all
Yeah, the
about the
laser beams.
quantosphere. I have a feeling Grant Morrison here is having fun making fun of Crisis here.
Yeah.
And we see a guy that looks like the moon. He said, hold that in your minds. The key is the man in the moon. Engine failure. We're going down. Uh-oh. The Legion of Legions
Wait,
is going down.
the
The
key.
Legions of Legion
The
the
key,
Legion is fairly famous for crashing their spaceships often.
the key is Andy
Legion cruisers
Kaufman.
go down a lot. Yeah, maybe.
Um. Okay. The man in the moon. Got
I'm
it.
going to give you a hint on
Yeah.
who it might be. He might be himself,
Shut
the moon.
up.
The moon
Andy
himself.
Kaufman. No.
The
That's
moon
what
has
I'm.
been there all along.
Well, no. Andy Kaufman always playing a role, but being himself.
Well, they crashed their ship
It's
into the earth and they say it's not death. Prepare to become fictional. This is right along Andy Kaufman. And then we get an advertisement for the music from The Crow, City of Angels,
yeah. Wait.
featuring all of the great bands that were in the first.
Wait a minute. Wait. City of
No.
Angels. No. This is the sequel. This is the soundtrack was good. The movie was not so great.
Oh, featuring The Murderer.
Oh yeah. And then White Zombie. That's okay.
And then White Zombie.
Yeah. And Filter, PJ Harvey, Bush, Tricky, Gravedigger.
Did you know
Yeah.
that Everclear is going to be playing at the Emerald Queen Casino in September?
Really? Right after Lit?
No, that was before.
I know that was.
I
before.
didn't go.
You didn't
I should have
go.
gone.
Oh
We got to go to Everclear.
man, you know. Okay,
I'm gonna book this far ahead with
you're
you
gonna book
and your
this far.
spouse.
Okay, and we'll go to Everclear. That'd be good. I mean, hey, there's a lot of great shows coming up, and we'll talk about one later. Um,
Linda Perry is featuring
Linda
Grace
Perry.
Slick.
Hey,
That's interesting.
that's
That's kind of
cool.
that's
Yeah,
really cool.
that is
Okay,
actually
that
cool.
I could be down with. I'll have to go back and listen to whatever song they did together.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
yeah. You got
The
Toadies.
writer of all pop hits
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
the writer of White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Like dun
Epic.
dun. And then we get an advertisement. I have no idea what this is an advertisement for. Biohazard? Do you even know what this band is?
Yes, I know this band.
Are they good?
You have to um, like a very hard, kind of like a heavier music. It's
Biohazard.
you.
Biohazard. We are
Nah, I don't
Biohazard.
think they would come out and say we are Biohazard. Just like come out and just like start playing some thick
They would just come out and maybe.
rhythms.
You know,
I'll dig
are
out
you
I'll
aware?
dig out a CD for you.
Are you aware that at not the Emerald Queen Casino, but at the Muckleshoot Casino,
Ah,
Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul and I saw sticks.
yes, I saw your post, your
Yes,
picture.
and yes,
He looks.
Tommy Shaw, at 71 years old, looks like he's 40 and is still hitting the high notes.
Oh my gosh! And Paul looked like
Like
he was the
Renegade
youngest
and Blue Collar
person.
Man and Man in the Wilderness.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I want to distract myself from this book
Uh, 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 uh.
because we just murdered all of the Legion of Substitute Heroes, or the people that couldn't get in Legion. They're all dead now.
Yeah. They're all dead.
Yeah, that's pretty fitting.
Then we just jump
We've
to the
killed
next. Yeah.
we've killed the industry.
and
We've just stacked up the leftover shitty
Oh, yeah.
heroes on the side.
and then they get into a boom tube and they're trying to figure out how to use it, and then boom, they're gone. Like,
Yeah,
That
you
copping.
might say that they're coming to sail away
they're coming to sail. You say sail
in
away.
a starship in the sky.
Oh my gosh, they are.
You could say that.
You could say that.
I mean, I would say that. I don't know. I don't know if you'd say that. Well, our friend the detective and the hoaxer go in a teleporter,
Boom tube.
and we get the multi-universe version like we did on the cover of Flex Mentallo.
Oh,
Grant Morrison writer, Frank Quietly artist. Tom McCraw, who I like, colorist. There we go.
Yeah.
He wrote Legion of Superhero
Hey,
books.
see, that's why
Like that
that's
guy.
why it's such a good book for you, Dan.
It's a terrible book. Ellie DeVille, Axel Alonso, editor. Axel,
Yes.
now, you edited this.
Yeah.
You're really to blame, Axel. I'm not blaming anybody else that did this book. This Axel fellow read this and was like, man, this makes sense. You know what, Mr. Morrison? You can do whatever you want here. And they said, sure, I will do whatever I want. And Axel said, you just keep going right at it. And they said, absolutely. This is a good story.
What if
And Axel said, man, yeah, I agree. This is a good story. It's so meta and cool. And nobody will get it.
Dan, what if there's an alternate to what you're saying where Grant was like, this is an 8-issue miniseries. It's 8 issues. And
God.
and we're gonna
No.
do 8 issues,
No.
and it's gonna be this, and I need to do this type of thing for the arc and everything. And Axel's like, I get what you're saying, Grant, but let's just put it into 4 issues. Let's
And
just
then there was an
condense-
alternate universe where in that 8 issues, the book was so amazing that it made it into the Comic Book Chronicles 1990 to 1999 and had like 3 pages about it.
Uh-huh.
So what if Axel actually destroyed the story by making it only 4 issues?
Oh, geez. See, here I'm trying to give you a good story where it was like even longer, but then it got truncated down, and that's why you have what you have, and that and it could have been worse, but you didn't like that, and now you want it even more.
You know what's way more interesting in this book?
What's that?
Though he angered his business partners, Rob Liefeld at least kept one friend happy in 1996.
Oh, okay. Well, who is this
That
from?
friend was Alan Moore,
Oh, well,
a man on a mission to change the tone and tenor of superhero comic books.
yeah.
Nearly a decade after creating such works as Watchmen and V for Vendetta, Moore was now feeling a fair amount of regret for ushering in an era of dark, cynical comic book stories.
Ah. Okay,
See? That's just all they're talking about here.
I see.
Well, last issue.
last issue.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, well, anyway, I remember struggling towards the teleport tube and Faculty X and stuff, and
Hmm.
stuff's happening. Did we mention we're not going page by page in
Yeah,
this
we're
book?
just gonna jump forward. But I do have something for you
Cool.
that you can play, that you can use for your exercises and your help to get you to abs at 50,
Abs at 50,
and to help
another
you. Yeah,
podcast with Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul Boudreau and I.
I found
It
something
comes out every two
I think
weeks.
is gonna help you. I want you to have Just Dance for Kids so you can use it on your Wii.
Oh, I have a bunch of Just Dances
No,
on
no,
there.
this is Just Dance for Kids. It's more your speed, more your
Okay.
style. It's
What
great,
songs are on there?
great songs, all the hits, but sung by children.
Like the
That sounds even weirder when I say it out loud.
Are you sure that's not from issue 3 of this book too?
So it's it's one of those like it's like Kids Bop.
Well, Vic Sage here, Vic Sage is not Vic Sage.
Yeah.
Wallace Sage isn't doing so well. He's got his car phone
Oh yeah, he's doing
that's
bad.
literally a car phone,
It's a car phone.
and he's on his kitchen floor, and he's got M&Ms in a medicine bottle, and he's like throwing up and stuff, and he goes back outside. Now he's wandering through the city,
But that
and he
just
sees
means that
the
he
earth.
wasn't taking a bunch of pain meds.
Yeah.
He's eating
And a little
M&Ms.
kid gives him binoculars, but the little kid is him. Remember?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
it's meta, because the little kid is him.
It's him,
And then he meets up with his superhero,
which
the
is
guy
the
with the
guy
eye on
with
his
the
head.
eye on his head. It was him all along.
and he says the magic word. And then we get a commercial for advertisement for Nada Surf and Reach Around. I'm just asking, was the music industry just in as bad shape as the comic book industry at this
At the
point?
time. Well, I mean, Not a Surf. That's a good album. Reach Around, never heard of. It just, it just sounds like an interesting. I don't know. Is it the band's name or yeah? It's got to be the band's
Yes,
name.
that's the band's name. The album is called Who's Tommy Cooper.
Could have been the It could have been the band's name. Who's Tommy Cooper?
Nada Surf's album is called High Low.
Yeah, I think that's the one with Popular on it.
We get another advertisement for
Oh, wait,
Ace
maybe that's
Ventura
not
when
the one
Nature
with Popular.
Calls.
Yay!
Of all the movies you'd want to advertise in this Grant Morrison comic book,
Yeah.
it's definitely this one. I mean, I can't think of two things that fit together better.
Oh, Ace Ventura, Nature Calls. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, anyway, we're on to the next page, and the young kid is aging as he grows up in comics with his beloved superhero.
Uh-huh.
I kind of love that. At least they're walking through the multiverse and the miniverse and everything else, and then the little kid now bounces out of that narrative and appears to Wallace Sage. I'm assuming this is Wallace Sage. Who knows? I don't think they
Yeah,
ever
they
say,
don't
except
say.
in the back matter,
Yeah.
so it's confusing. And he says,
Hey.
Flex Mentallo is in trouble, and you've got to save him.
Save him.
And so Flex Mentallo makes it, and he finds the big baddie villain,
The Moon
and it's
Man.
the Man in the Moon.
Oh, the Man in the Moon. Andy Kaufman, everybody. He's gonna give him cookies, but no milk. Or
Yeah.
something
Well,
like that.
are you sure, or is it just like REM's Descent and then Rise Again and then Descent?
They rose again. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. It starts with earthquake.
Earthquakes.
birds,
Milkshakes.
snakes,
Earthquakes. Milkshakes.
Lenny Bruce is not afraid.
Yeah.
I have a hurricane. Yeah.
Got a hurricane?
Oh, well, so story here.
Yeah, it's all that.
Uh,
It's all that. And yeah, no, the fact. It was the fact. That's who he was
yeah,
looking
but the
for.
fact got lost in time and he became the man on the moon.
Oh my gosh.
And now
all
they're making
along.
fun of the Legion of Superheroes, the Time Trapper going through many iterations.
Yeah.
And now they're making fun of Kryptonite again because
Yeah.
they found the black Kryptonite, which was used to
I gotta
it's
say
used
though,
to murder.
the
Now,
bottom.
what does gold Kryptonite do again? Do you know?
No. Makes you like
Gold
the Home
Kryptonite
Shopping Channel?
takes your powers away
Oh.
forever.
Oh, okay. So black kryptonite.
So if you're exposed to gold Kryptonite, you could just if Clark Kent really wanted to be Clark Kent and not be the savior of the world,
Yeah.
he could have just been exposed to gold Kryptonite and gone on his life.
Choices.
Right, but so he makes the conscious choice to endanger his wife, his son, his everything.
Mm-hmm. by not.
doing that. He knows that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I don't even remember what black kryptonite was supposed to do. Green kryptonite kills you. Red kryptonite changes your powers and stuff. We know what pink kryptonite does.
This bottom panel, though, looks like it fell out of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it does.
I love it.
We've got the hoaxer.
I love the panel.
You love the panel. You know, it does. The art is, you know, the art's, again, we probably have undercovered the art here. The art's good. I like that beautiful art in that one piece. But, you know, the art's really good. Obviously, Frank Quietly is really good.
Yeah, no, it's a great piece.
But here's what makes it not a great piece, because the story, like, it needs to be coherent through the art too.
Yeah, it's
and the bouncing back and forth. I do think it starts to become more coherent in the fourth issue here.
Oh yeah, no, it starts to make more sense when our narrator is kind of sobering up a little bit and kind of becoming more cohesive in his bit. And then he's talking to himself, talking
like
about
a dream
himself.
within a dream within a dream, like from my favorite movie.
Shit. Dude, let me tell you about this movie I saw. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's gonna blow your mind. This guy, he's got this idea about doing something, but he doesn't want to do it. So he's procrastinating about doing it because somebody told him that he had to do this thing. But then he was told that if he did that thing, then he would have to do something else. So that he started to procrastinate about doing the other thing.
That sounds like my life.
So he was procrastinating. It's called procrastination. It's all because somebody put the idea in his head to procrastinate. But what happens is he's the one that did the idea inside his own head. He procrastinated himself.
Well, if you flip the page, we have something really cool. We have like Stephen T. Siegel and Teddy Christensen doing House of Secrets.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Procrastination.
I wish we were reading that right now.
Nah, we'll do it later.
All right.
Procrastination.
Yeah, I noticed I went with you on the joke, and then you ruined it. Like, I was just like, yeah. And I finally, like, hit on one of your jokes and, like, continued the narrative.
Yeah.
And then you shut it down. I'm really sad right now because I finally, for the first time ever, maybe in the history of this entire podcast, actually picked up on what you were doing and extended it. And then you killed it.
What? No.
You killed it dead.
How did I kill it?
Well, young Mr. Wallace is guiding the superhero version of him, and they're telling the story of what's happening. And then old Mr. Wallace is dying. Mr. Wallace Sage, that is. And then
got leaky pipes inside,
they go back to fighting the man on the moon. And he turns the hoaxer into a box.
He crushes him.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that very first issue of OMAC.
Yeah.
With the weird lady box robots.
Yeah, they got boxed.
Either that or the episode of South Park where the guy at the Amazon fulfillment center gets turned into a box.
I mean, that could happen. I've seen those videos where the people get strapped down to the table where they're trying to fix the thing, like, and then all of a sudden the strapping machines just start strapping them down and they get stuck. Not at Amazon, but at other places.
Yeah.
I mean,
it seems scary.
Amazon's
Make sure we say that wasn't at Amazon.
It's a fully safe place. I've seen the fail safes.
It's not at Amazon.
Not that I've seen
it.
It
does not. I mean, we don't have those. I mean, they don't have those.
I've seen their videos. They look safe.
They don't have those.
They don't have those types of machines. The strapping.
I don't know, actually. I don't know if they do or not.
But anyways, and then the moon man tries to make Fat John Travolta shoot himself in the head.
Oh, the hoaxer's back. Wait, he's not in his box.
He's not in his box. He hoaxed him.
The Moon Man is Mr. Sage.
Oh, man. All along.
It was the writer that was ruining everything.
Hero
I
of the
knew this.
beach.
It's because you didn't put phone numbers, page numbers
Wait,
in your comic.
me?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you were the villain.
We were gonna do it later, but we procrastinated.
Ugh. I'm not. The joke's over. Like,
Procrastination.
hero of the beach, yes. Flex flexes,
hey,
becomes the hero of the beach, defeats the bad guy, who is the writer. He asks the writer to come back up.
I love at the bottom of the next page we got Scott Pilgrim. This is so cool.
Yeah. And we find out it was M&M's that killed him.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if you eat
And more importantly,
you got a
M&Ms,
peanut
if you do
allergy.
eat too many, that could be a detriment to your health. I used to eat a lot of M&Ms.
Or if you got a peanut allergy and you start eating those peanut ones, or if you go to your grandma's house and she offers you peanuts and you start eating them,
Yeah.
and then you realize that they're just peanut M&Ms that she's been pulling off all the candy and the chocolate off of, and then putting them peanuts
By
back
the way,
in the
that's
bowl.
a mighty fine hoodie you have.
Well, thank you. It's a Funny Book Forensics hoodie for those who can't see on the YouTubes, and if you're just listening to this on audio, like a plebeian. Just joking.
Well, you should do that. I mean, us on video is not that
No,
appealing,
it's not. It's not
really.
appealing at all. Nobody wants. If you're at work, at your day job or whatever, in the car, and you just want to listen to a cool sound thing, then yeah, let's tell you about these cool hoodies that we have. Dan has a cool Funny Books Forensics hoodie. I have a cool Funny Book Forensics hoodie.
I have a Funny Book Forensic beanie.
And I have a Funny Book Forensics dad hat. That's right. It's a dad hat. I'm not even a dad.
Lost mine. I had to get a flat bill one. Well, anyway,
you two can have one of these.
We find out
fine products.
We find
Ask
out
us
that
more.
the writer. Ask us more. We'll get you these. Or you can buy them.
A nominal fee. $1 million.
MXPX will purchase them for you.
Yes, MXPX will purchase them for you.
Just like they give Greg CDs for his books. So
We'll discuss
we
that
found
another
out
time.
that this whole story is stupid and annoying because the punchline is that when he was a really little kid, he had a sleigh that he played in the snow with called Rosebud, and he was so sad about not getting to play in the snow anymore and being taken away from his mom and going to live in the big city that he bought a newspaper empire, and he tried to run for governor and president and then ruined everybody's lives around him and then died in a giant like Xanadu place. And then
oh man,
at the end,
is that
we
going to
found out
happen?
that Rosebud was the reason everything was bad and why his life was so sad, and that's what he thought about.
Wow, that sounds like a real story.
Yeah. And then here we found, the moon lamp where he read the comic books is what ruined his life.
Yeah.
And then he died and stuff, and he found the bomb thing, and he ends up being the bad guy. And then Flex is looking at the earths and stuff. And then there's a cat, and that's the end.
That is the end. Well, I, for one, can say that I'm glad we're done with this.
Oh, it's not the end.
Oh, son of... What?
He lived.
Oh, my God.
Sigh.
He did. He lived, and then he found a crossword puzzle. He found the magic word, and guess what happened, folks? He said the word. Just like when you're on Wheel of Fortune and you say and you get the phrase right, but this time he didn't win. I mean, he did
And
win.
then it says, brace yourself for total reality. Last call for Flight 230. They're coming through. Thank you for your participation, he says in his new superhero suit. He flies away from his girlfriend and his cat with the butts of all the other superheroes.
Butts. Hey, it's Grimbor.
Yeah, that's an extra special Grimbor mix.
It's he doesn't have as many chains, but he definitely has a lot.
He has a lot of straps.
A lot of straps. That's a strapping lad.
He is very strapping. That's probably his name. Is probably strapping lad. In fact, Strapping Lad's origin was, you were talking about it earlier in the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
He was on a strapping machine.
Oh, okay. And then it just strapped him right up. And then
the magical straps came around his system. And then we've got the Back Matter Part 2 that I was accidentally reading from last
I
podcast,
see.
thinking he was in the last issue,
Oh,
but gave away the ending. But yeah, he doesn't die. I don't know. I do know. By the way, we get an ad for Joe's Apartment, one of Greg's favorite movies.
actually, that is a really okay. That is the topper to this whole entire
I
thing.
wasn't joking. Yeah.
I was like that movie came out and I was like I think I was living in that second apartment in Longview, the one that I moved from.
It was kind of like Joe's
It
Apartment
was
there.
like Joe's apartment. I mean, behind the Chinese restaurant and Burger King, where all sorts of weird stuff was all over there.
Yep.
It was great. And I say great in the worst, best way.
I think the best line at the bottom of this back matter is it says, which brings us full circle as Flex Mentallo returns once more to his own spectacular series and launches the sparkling new age of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But good news.
Yeah.
Besides the Crow City of Angels coming in August 30th, which, no, God, why did they do that?
Big letdown.
Free DC Comics Online Starter Kit, 1-800-203-2600. Have a computer? Got a modem? You
Yeah.
too can get on American Online and talk to DC creators.
Hell yeah.
Let's go through DC Comics here. Lists all of the people that are their executives and who were very proud of this book. So Jeanette Kahn, of course, was the president and editor in chief. Paul Levitt's my Legion writer and former Facebook friend when I had my old account, and probably could get on there again. That was cool.
Get 'em. Get 'em.
Executive vice president and publisher. Karen Berger, famous editor of the whole executive editor of the whole Vertigo line. I blame all of you right now for this.
For this. Oh, Dan.
Yes.
Anger Dan. So mad.
Like I was very positive during most of this
Yeah.
podcast, but just
No.
why did this happen?
Because people wanted this story at that time. It was an interesting book. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite thing I've read.
Yeah.
There's been a few stinkers out there, Dan, and we know what they are. This wasn't the worst thing.
Is it the least favorite thing you've read on the podcast, or have we read worse things on the podcast?
Oh, we've read worse things.
You mean Bondage Wonder Woman?
That was pretty bad.
That one?
That was pretty bad.
That was pretty terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
Wonder Woman Christmas Story.
Yeah,
That was.
it's pretty rough.
I can only be released from my bonds if I.
Yeah, that was not good. There's been some bits and pieces that are far worse. That even if they're even like 5 or 6 pages, were
Like
far
accidentally
worse.
reading a comic book by.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, 100%.
That was worse, but the story was not worse.
The story wasn't worse, but the book itself, just because of the touch,
Well,
was
the
bad.
feeling of reading it,
Yeah.
yes, is worse.
Yes,
But
yes.
the story was not worse.
Yeah, but it's just some things you just gotta. This
Yeah,
is
this was well, down to strapping lad.
I-
This
down to
that-
strap.
that's a good summary. That's a good summary for the whole book right there. Just kind of gross and icky.
I liked there was some very interesting art choices that made the book itself very neat and interesting. It brought a lot of stuff out there. It made you dig into comic book history if you wanted to go that route, or if you just wanted to read it as a standalone. Hey, this is just a really interesting read. I'm just gonna jump into it feet first and go
Funny
for
that you
it.
say wanted to. You know,
Hey,
after reading this, who wanted to read this as a standalone? Like who is the target audience for this book in 1996?
could be anybody. Could be anybody, Dan. Somebody just going, I am wanting a book that's different and unique, and I just don't know what I want to spend my dollars on.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna own me.
Yeah. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I bought this book called
I was
Flex
looking real
Mentallo.
dumb with my
Finger in my
finger
thumb.
and my thumb.
Yeah.
The shape of an L.
On my forehead.
Yeah, I mean, So I go through one of the worst songs ever made,
Yeah.
and we get into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
By one of the worst bands.
well, this is a book.
Yeah, it's a book. And you too can have the opportunity to read it if you wish and make up your own mind and
Yeah.
decision to either read it or and if you do, tell us what you think. Tell us how it makes you feel.
Well, after all, they're making like like I said, they're releasing
Yeah.
it as a trade.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can pick it up.
Yeah.
Let us know. Tell me how dumb. This is your chance to put me in my place. Tell Greg how smart he is,
I
and
I'm trying to be
tell me how
positive.
dumb I am.
Trying to be positive.
Yeah, I mean, well, now this is your chance. Like all those times I've said something and you didn't like it on the podcast or they didn't like it on the podcast. Now is the time to let me know how quite stupid I am.
Yeah, I mean, no, don't tell Dan that because then he'll never
Yeah, leave us a 5-star review and take your shots.
yeah, leave us a 5-star review and just say dumb, stupid.
I hate
Pick.
this guy.
I hate this pick, but it was an entertaining show.
Dan is the
nonetheless.
worst podcaster in the entire world.
No. Don't say that. Don't say we're bad. Just say the pick was bad.
Oh, it's so good though. Like it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah. It was. If I was picking best comic of 1996,
yeah. Best comic of 1996.
it would be
Speed Racer.
a run between this
Yeah.
and all the breasts on the characters in Gen 13.
Oh my gosh. No.
What? I mean, did I say something wrong?
I just don't. I don't think that's your thing, dude.
What were the big hits in 1996 for comics?
Let's see. Kabuki
The
was
industry was in a free fall. Don't forget.
Kabuki came out a little bit later, but it wasn't really that. It wasn't for anything
Was Kingdom Come 96?
uh,
Because I believe if it was 96 and
95.
not 97, that would be it, right?
96, 97, about that time.
We're going to 0 Hour here. Impulse was a good book.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a fun book.
Impulse.
A lot of people don't like Impulse in retrospect, but
They had cool cards. No, that was Phantasm. Not Phantasm. Something different.
He had really big feet.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
What?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What is it? What's your pick?
Oh God. Well, the Onslaught storyline.
Okay.
So no.
No.
I mean, you may be a fan. And that was.
I mean, I might have had a book or two, but no.
Oh, I had them all. They were just wasn't particularly great. There was a Star Trek
Savage
X-Men
Dragon
crossover, which I have not read.
I mean, Savage
okay.
Dragon, man.
And Savage Dragon is persistent through time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yes.
just good stuff. But I mean, it's just interesting.
You had the versus universe, the Batman versus Captain America, Hulk versus Superman, all that. And you had the mashup, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like the whole Spider Boy, which is now a whole different character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking through it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say 96 was not. Oh, hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
SpaghettiOs.
Just hang on 1 second. I'm going to go back to this.
It's got something, folks.
1 second.
What is it? He's got it.
We've got the Superman marriage. Kingdom Come was 96.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a probably argument that was probably the best book of 1996.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say
Alan Moore started writing Supreme in 1996.
Okay.
Pretty strong effort. But I'm gonna go back here. Clearly, the best book that I have never read
Mm-hmm.
and that we need to get a hold of immediately.
Okay, what is it? Karate Kid.
The Savage Dragon.
Yeah?
Savage Dragon.
Okay.
Destroyer Duck.
Oh.
Number 1.
Shut up. Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna find it, folks. If you know
If you have this book,
that this
you
book,
can send it to me.
yeah, if it belongs in your collection, and you want to part with it, let's talk. All right, because we're looking for
I
two
think the best
copies.
thing here too
Yeah.
is apparently Howard the Duck teamed up with Spider-Man in Spider-Man Team Up
Oh, all right. Same year?
in the same year that Destroyer Duck teamed up with Savage Dragon.
Sick. As the kids would say,
How?
let's go.
All right, yeah.
Let's make this happen.
Hey, this is why you read things, folks, because I bet if I internet searched for hours, I would never find Savage Dragon and Destroyer Duck. In fact,
Yeah.
there is a podcast out there called the Savage Fincast.
Uh-huh. All about Savage Dragon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe if we reached out
They would do a little talking.
to that, I may be doing some research. I may be doing this right now as we podcast.
Okay. Dan's
so-
busy. Hey.
Yeah, I may be writing out to Jim Purcell. If you ever decide to listen to our podcast, I do like you on the Legion of Substitute Podcasters. Haven't been as much into the Savage Fincast just because I'm not a giant Savage Dragon fan. But I bet if I remember, I got to leave myself a note to tag Jim Purcell in our post. He may point us to this issue.
Okay. Very cool. I mean,
All right.
I'd be very interested in checking it out.
You're all choked up about
I
it.
am all choked up about it. Kids, like they say, reading is fun and mental.
And writers are just mental.
Yeah. What? Yes. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Greg,
What?
you do things.
Huh?
Like you write books.
Yeah.
They're called
Absolute Zero. The cough is back.
Absolute Zero's Camp Launchpad, Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, Starlight, and other stories by our favorite coughing author, Greg Smith. Or Mr. G.K. Wordsmith.
Yeah. That's me. Try not to cough.
And I'm Dan. I sidekick Greg and make podcasts like Abs at 50 with jiu-jitsu lawyer Paul Boudreau. You can find Greg at the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street in Kent, Washington.
Yeah.
Often.
Yes, it's very true.
Sometimes even in a suit.
What suit?
A Sasquatch suit.
What? No. Although, who knows? Maybe I might be wearing one on the... No, I don't think I can wear it on the 14th. Be too much.
And at the Retro Emporium in Kent, Washington,
Yeah.
in April, there's going to be a special appearance. I'm so excited. Greg will be doing a signing in April. He's going to be signing. Michael Tanner probably is even coming down.
Actually,
they're going to be signing Absolute Zero's Camp Launchpad, and they've got a special guest band. I'm so excited. It's the best ever. They're going to be giving away CDs with every signed copy of the book. MXPX is going to be appearing at the Retro Emporium. You've heard it here first. I've got news fresh from the internet. I posted a response and made it true. MXPX will be appearing at the Retro Emporium.
No. So let me step this back for a second.
What?
Let's step this
What?
back. Actually,
What?
on the 12th,
What?
Michael Tanner and I will be at the Museum of Flight on April 12th.
At the Museum of Flight.
Museum of
'cause
Flight.
Your book's about space.
Yes, Absolute Zeros will be doing an author talk for Yuri's Day.
Will MXPX be there?
MXPX will not be there, but we will be there. So if you want to
What?
come meet Michael and I, you can come out
On
to
April 12th?
April 12th to the Museum of Flight, the Boeing Museum of Flight, just
Really?
outside of Seattle, Washington, and come and meet us there.
On April 12th.
On April
That's a
12th.
Saturday.
That is a Saturday. And on April 13th, if you want to come to the Retro Emporium and see Green
On April
Jelly, a.k.a.
Wait,
Green
Green
Jello,
Jell-O?
you can come on down. There are prices on the Retro Emporium Facebook page and Instagram. So
Really?
yes.
So green Jello is always the shitty Jello. That's the hospital Jello they would give you.
It's delicious. It tastes like lime or something else.
Tastes like horse hooves.
Well, yeah, of course. That's what Jello's made of. That's why it makes you
Oh,
strong.
that's where Boxer the horse went in Animal Farm.
Yeah, to the Jello factory, duh, and also
Oh.
to make steaks.
Those pigs were such
And glue.
assholes.
I don't know. I mean, in other places they eat horse, except for in America.
Pigs were jerks. The pigs were jerks. Well, anyway, so Green Jelly is going to be appearing. So wait, that's a big weekend. So on the 12th,
It is a big weekend. Yes,
you
I will
are
be
appearing at the Museum of Flight.
Yes, the Museum of Flight. Yeah. So you
So
know.
wait.
So I in the last
Last
episode
episode.
I discussed
You shared.
I shared about not going to convention or to the Emerald City Comic Con, but at the same time, I wasn't too concerned about not appearing there because I moved on from conventions, or at least some conventions, because I'm doing museums now, folks. Just joking.
Oh, you're so old that you're
I
now doing museums.
no
That's what it is.
yes, I doing museums and bookstores and other things like that.
Okay, so the 12th at
This
the
one,
Museum of Flight
yes,
and at the 13th at the Retro Emporium. If you're around
yeah,
the Seattle Tacoma area or
yeah,
you just want to fly in to see Green Jelly,
yeah. Green jelly.
they're going to be at the Retro Emporium.
It's such a crazy pull. It's so wild. They're on tour right now, and they're making us one of their stops. So what better place to have them than at the Retro Emporium? My wife is super excited and has worked some super awesome magic with some other cool stops on their trip, and we're going to be doing a
Let's
meet and
see. I'm
greet.
assuming I have to go buy a ticket
So
at
it's
the Retro Emporium.
$20 to bring in an item and get it signed. It is $30 to buy a CD and get that signed, and it
What if I
is,
just want to hear them play?
well, then you'd have to go to one of their concerts at one of their concert locations, unless they do play some music at the store, which I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I can't confirm or deny because, well, all I know is that they're right now, as of today, we know 100% they're going to be there, and this is what they're going to be doing: meet and greet, signing
Yeah.
CDs, signing any of your items. $20 starting, $30 for CDs,
Yep.
or $20 start for any of your items, $30 for CDs, $40 for your albums. So for your records.
Yeah.
So that is
Okay.
what I know. But that who knows what could happen. Expect the unexpected at the Retro Emporium. We just don't know. They might
You
just
never
show up
know.
and decide they're gonna send it, yo.
Well, it's I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be.
I mean, I've been a fan since I was like 13 years old. So for the 13-year-old kid in me, like to get to go and do like a a talk at one of my favorite air and space museums, like that I grew up at, like, and then to have green Jello at my store is just like a weekend of awesome. So
Well, here's the thing. Green Jelly is going to be playing at Tony V's Garage in Everett on the 12th. So you could go there. And then you don't need a backstage pass because the literal next day you could come to the Retro Emporium and see them in person.
and hang out.
They're also playing in Portland on the 11th.
So it's boom, boom, boom.
They're playing in Klamath Falls on the 18th. They had to take a break in
Yeah,
between.
yeah, yeah. They're playing.
Now, I don't know.
They're
I kind of feel like if they'll play in Tony V's Garage,
just at the just pulling up at Tony V's, playing in his garage. No, they're playing at our friend down at the retro why can't I think of their name? The retro they're meeting up down at the spot down in Klamath Falls, that is down there. So and it's pretty cool. So
oh, I have a special guest here to end the podcast.
hey, to end the podcast,
Uh, and
Julie.
she came down to greet the Amazon delivery person, as she does. Toa, Mr. Toa, come here. Toa, come here. Come on, buddy. We have two special guests.
Hey,
Uh,
Juliet Toa.
all right. Well, that's a good way to end the podcast.
It is
Two
a good way.
guests to honor your guests, and we'll get out of here. But we're back on a roll, so we'll be back next time. We will be reading Jimmy Olsen, number 133. Jack Kirby comes to DC Comics and says, "Give me your lowest selling book."
Yeah.
And what was their lowest selling book? Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
And Jack Kirby takes it over, and they had Al Plastino draw Superman's face over Jack Kirby.
Oh. Wow. Rough.
Well, anyway,
Anyway.
Jack Kirby, Jimmy Olsen, craziness.
Is it
in the next couple weeks, we're gonna get the first cameo appearance of Darkseid.
I got a question, Dan. Is it because Jimmy Olsen has a duck bill and Jack Kirby can't draw it?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jack Kirby didn't like drawing the duckbills.
That's what we
that's a fair
call.
point.
That's what we call a
That's what we call a callback.
callback. Yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
I'm getting all these messages underneath the actual the podcast, and I'm like, what?
Well, it's all good. We're good. So
Yeah.
we're ready. You're getting messages. We need to go. But if you want to keep up with us, grab the DC Infinite app. You could also probably grab. I did not check, but I'm pretty sure it's in the omnibus I was holding up and last week. And yeah, in fact, we'll have to check that because if it's in the omnibus, we can both read out of our omnibuy.
Omnibus?
Omnibuy. Omnibuses. Omnibus.
Omnibus. I'm
So
on
we're
a
gonna
bus.
head to that. And the
reading an
reason we're doing
omnibus.
this is because the reason we're reading these is because I got a book from Tomorrow's about the fourth world and its creation. And I, Greg, definitely did not get some Jimmy Olsen comics on an auction.
Dan been buying some books again. Dan, we talked about this.
I know if you look behind me, I know everybody's shocked to find out that I would buy comic books.
Dan.
And we may. I do have another announcement.
Yes.
We will probably be starting a short segment soon called Dan Reads Comics or Dan Reads a Comic. And literally right back here in the comic book chair, I'll have the camera set up. I will read a comic and then I will spend like a minute talking about it.
Hey.
You're going to love it. Dan Reads a Comic. No rhyme or reason. You just find out what I read that day.
What?
I mean, if Tom Green, not the Tom Green, but the Tom Green wrestling guy can do it with like wrestling characters from the 90s, I can do it with the comic book.
Well, Tom Green could do it.
But it's not the Tom Green.
No,
It's
but the Tom Green could do it.
Well, yeah, the Tom Green could probably do it too. I think his podcasting days are over.
Oh no.
Yeah, he gets the full blame for Joe Rogan's current state, right?
Oh, does he?
I think so.
No.
He's the one that introduced Joe Rogan to podcasting,
Oh
I believe.
God. The Tom Green. Okay. Anyways. Well,
anyway,
I look forward to your.
We don't want to
Dan
make
Reads a
this
book.
political here.
I
you
look
know,
forward
like,
to-
things are going so well in the economy. and my
no,
stocks
no,
and
no,
everything
no,
is so amazing. Yeah.
The 201k.
Yeah. Did you hear? All right. We promised to end this podcast soon because we need to go. But Swastikar, that's got to be one of my favorites.
My grandma even laughs.
Yeah.
That's.
I heard people are like changing the emblems on their Teslas because that's going to magically make them different. That is literally this freaking story we read.
It's true. Kind
Yeah,
of.
it's like alternate universes. Anyway, not to get it political, but it's you know what? I am going to make it political for 1 second.
Okay. One.
And I just want to say
it's
this.
over.
We only have like 5 listeners, which is fine. But if you're struggling and you're having a hard time right now, listen to our stuff, read a comic, sit back. And I'm not saying like try to escape reality. The other thing I want to tell people, and I gave this advice to some friends the other day, focus on the things that can actually be done and not everything that's going to get overturned by the courts.
Yeah.
If you know it's a power we've given the president and you're concerned, be concerned about that. And wash away the noise, because then you can actually focus on the things that are a problem. And I will share that with you. We're going to keep reading comics, though. We're going to be right here for you. If you want to send a political note to either of us, we're happy to talk to you about it. You know why? Because we love you, and we want you to make it through this time, too. It's tough for everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm going to end on that note today, because I feel like I need to say it. It's tough
just-
times, and we haven't been on the air, but we're here. And if you want to send Greg or I a note and just, if you want to chat, if you're our friends or you know us, you want to chat through something, call us up. We'll happily chat through it with you.
And I was just gonna tack on to what you just said too, dude. And if you feel like things are tough and you want to take action in your community. That's where you got to start. So do those things and rally around the people around you, because
I'm gonna take action in my community coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
One of my Congress folks or senators is proposing a car tax in Washington to tax electric vehicles by the mile and like eventually put meters in vehicles. And you know what? That may be the right solution, but I feel like there's a better one. And I'm going to go to a town hall and ask. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask. And you know what? I bet a couple of you are saying, Dan, you're crazy. That is the right solution. Because they're not paying for gas and they're not paying for taxes. And I'm kind of like thinking, well, we probably should reward the people that got the electric cars because they're probably better for the environment long term.
But if you're paying for electricity, you're still paying taxes on electricity, and you're paying
Right.
for resources.
Or maybe
and
we
other
tax
things.
that, or maybe we figure out something else. But maybe I don't think that's the right solution. And you know what? Those are things in our community that directly impact us. So like Greg said, pay attention to what's going on right here. Act on the things around you.
Yeah.
And then you don't get sucked into some of this other noise. And for God's sake, don't watch MSNBC or Fox News or don't watch either of them.
The Weather
nice
Channel. I
Associated
hear the
Press
Weather
article.
Channel is fantastic this time of year.
Read a nice Associated Press article. Read something with some fucking journalistic integrity. Like King Falls AM.
Yes,
That's
King
way out
Falls AM. If you're looking for a good radio station to just tune into and zone out to, King Falls AM. I'll take
AM.
you away.
We're advertising a podcast that's been off that they were done with like 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So if you want to escape, though, that'll take you there.
Jack in the Box Jesus.
Jack in the Box Jesus.
Burger King of Kings. Anyway, we will well, we're signing off now.
Yeah.
But yeah, hang in there if you're struggling, and you know, if you need to reach out to either of us. You can find us on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and soon in some YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
As I get that set up over the next couple of months.
I'm wearing them right now. YouTube shorts.
Yep. Man, my YouTube shorts don't seem to have a back to them.
Okay. Cool. YouTube chaps.
Yeah. Well, so we call assless YouTube.
Assless
Coming up next month.
with just no butt at all.
No butts in that one.
No butts about it, Dan. And on that note.
Well, that's it. So we're signing off. I hope we came. I tried to come in with a better attitude on this episode because we're wrapping up. I think I'm just really ecstatic that we're wrapping up the whole thing. So it's done. No more Grant Morrison. We're on to some crazy Jack Kirby DC stuff, and we'll be hitting that. So we will talk to you soon. Bye.